See a red team? Okay. Demo's rolling out Shutter. Takes beam. Try and go forward. Where's your scout at during this?
Actually, being as fast as a scout, I don't know where our scout is.
Shutter. Okay. Yeah, there your demo just kind of got outspaced a little bit initially by their scout. Then your team kind of like starts backing as your demo gets botted by their scout. You back up to ramp, you get bombed ramp. That's kind of guaranteed to happen as you back into ramp, and also because you're backing out to ramp, you're getting sniped. Basically, with Ashville mid, you need to make sure you are absolutely not backing out to the ramp here, because if you're doing that, you are losing the mid fight, unless you can outsnipe them from this angle. Basically, what tends to happen is that scouts will either go roof or just like help their demo men trade on point. If their scout's doing that, your scout needs to be doing it as well from either roof or like on a point itself. And then what will usually happen is your soldier gets on bats, they bomb across, and your team walks as they bomb across, and then you just pincer them from these two directions. But then it's like, once you start losing players, you kind of want to get all the way back out, especially if you're backing out to ramp already, then you get on bats. And then, in this sort of case, you want to be organizing a sack right here, getting your players buffed, having your spy call when they're ready, and then just going in. It looks like your flank slash team is just sort of doing whatever in the downtime here. So real quick, you want to be doing one of two things when you're trying to pressure off bats here. Just go for a sack. You can either have your NG, scout, maybe soldier go ramp and work with your sniper on ramp, and then if their team's holding forward or if they're trying to pressure from ramp, it's a lot harder for them to do so. I will say that with a caveat, if there's snipers playing bats or crates, your team is going to lose the game as a result of that, so it's important to know where their sniper's playing. Their sniper died here, I think they were around one of these two areas. I don't know, I'll have to go maybe look at it
He
later,
was
but
often on ramp.
on ramp, then yeah. Like, you'd either be doing that, or you'd just be having your flank just kind of control roof and get jumpers over roof, have the rest of your team back out, or just go forward with them. It's like it'll usually be everybody besides one player goes forward and sacks into the enemy team there, because it's like, you're not really doing anything sitting around on bats here. And you either want to be committing to just like a full ramp peek with your flank to work sniper and while you combo pressures around here, or you just go for a sack, you get a force, and then you just jump in from bats and walk around the corner, or you can just like take a scout down with through shutter, or just try and gradually edge it if they don't have sniper here. They don't. Your team should be more forward here. They're all kind of holding ramp. You're getting held back by the mini though. In that case, you have one of your flankers like soldier jump roof and shoot the mini, clear it off there, and then it's like you should be able to get on point. It looks like the enemy team is just getting a lot of free point time, pretty much entirely as a result of that one mini though. Now their sniper's up, now their team's up, and they're kind of repressuring you. Your team's just kind of delayed for too long there, basically. If the enemy team is
Like
giving you a lot of point presence,
essentially we're playing too passive up till that moment.
Yeah, I'd say like you're playing too passive, and like it's a mix of like not committing early enough while still trying to commit to things, or just like not backing out as well at that point. And then also just kind of like on Ashville, it's like you can sack a lot of the time. You can just be constantly pressuring with your flank and soldier. You kind of just always want to have a goal. A big kind of noob trap for Ashville's where teams just sort of aimlessly sit around on bats and hope for something to happen. And the only real way you're gonna like get picks is by coordinating with your spy and aggressing slash sacking, or just by working players like your sniper ramp, getting your flank in behind, and having your sniper snipe them here. Those are pretty much like your two things that you can try and do in the downtime there. Otherwise, you're just not really getting anything done. You're just waiting for picks the entire time, yeah? Here your demo men's solo peeking, so they kind of die. If your demo man, wants to spam it, they can be holding it a lot closer here and still getting the relatively same spam. Just be playing more along like this side. Once you peek around the fans area, you're probably dying to sniper unless you're peeking it together, or there's other pressure on their sniper. In addition, if their sniper is called toxic, if you shoot pipes around here, their sniper dies pretty much every single time, or just has low HP and has to back out. Your team goes for an Uber exchange around the corner here on Pyre and Heavy. You take it around your Pyre, you air blast them around, that's good. Heavy collapses. I will say, like, your team kind of did split up a bit there. The enemy team was able to capitalize off of that a bit. They got your Demo Empire for it. You win the fight overall, though, because you have more people to throw at it. It just seemed like maybe too few people, like, too many people started backing out, and then it's like a lot more of them were susceptible to damage from the soldier bomb or whatever that was anyways. And a lot of the time it's like, I think instead of backing out there when you're trying to like aggress and engage anyways, you just want people to get further in on the enemy side and then collapse and pinch so that they can't have things like their heavy sing around secret here and mulching you on the point while you're all trying to aggress from your side of it. I will say here your demo's getting really baited. Your heavy needs to be playing forward and holding this corner with them. Your spy needs to be around their ramp slash shutter, like shutter calling where their sniper's peeking if they're rotating ramp, and then your soldier can like bomb and help with it. Your heavy soldier can be like aggro peeking the shutter here. Instead, it's just kind of like your demo man sitting here alone, the rest of your team sitting back on ramp, and then just kind of losing players everywhere because you don't have that much control of any one area of the map. And now it's like your players split off and you just get picked off one by one. Basically, it's like instead of forcing the enemy team to react, a lot of the times you were the one being forced to react and you're just allowing the enemy team to like keep dividing you and picking you off because you're not really committing to anything that forces them to react much at all. It's like they're always allowed to set the pace of the engagement, kind of, and on Ashville that just means you're getting locked out of the point.
Yeah.
And it's like if you're having trouble, then like for Ashville, the answer is almost always to just get your flank and work with your spy. Like your flank can almost always like just get behind here, cause havoc, bomb in from behind, or your soldier can bomb and initiate. Even if they have Uber and it's like an exchange, your soldier can just jump over, force them, or up, and then your combo can walk in off that, or you can just like have your soldier bombing in the post fight. And it's just really important to have people walking in at the same time as your soldiers bombing. You're taking a bit of a slower mid-fight here. Your soldier did kind of sacrifice their life in that case. Like, they bombed in, they didn't really get anything, but your sniper's up on Toxic with a really good sight line. Their sniper isn't, so you're probably winning this mid-fight. But basically, it's just, like, your team kind of half-committed to two things instead of doing one thing entirely, yeah. Like, you're not entirely taking a slow mid-fight, seeing as you're having people still share their life and die there. And then you're not entirely committing to just walking off your soldier bomb. Usually it's like your scout can go on a roof, clean up on whoever your soldier hits, and then your team just walks in from on the point. It's just really punishing if you do hang around ramp slash toxic at all, unless you back out of the mid-fight, or you can just get insane picks with your sniper and their sniper isn't contesting it. So it's just like, it doesn't seem like your team necessarily has that much of an idea of like what their goal is for these mid-fights, kind of. Or these fights in general. Here it's like, spy's behind them ramp, okay, so you're probably like coordinating with your spy here, your spy's calling there behind. Gets chased out though.
This was a rough spy game.
Yeah.
They often played like 9 people ramp or 9 people somewhere. I would just have to play.
You just have too many people around like shutter and random parts of the map, like, and not enough people like either committing together on their side, like your scout and soldier both being in and then working with your spy, or just like in general, it's like your combo isn't really like taking fights together from bats. You're never able to really initiate unless your pick classes get something done. It feels like. But for Ashville
we were very reliant on our picks this game.
Yeah, it's just like you gotta play in a way where it's like you need to be taking some of the brunt as a combo member. Like your combo just needs to be forcing things to happen, because unless your combo makes things happen, unless the enemy team is playing incredibly sloppily, there's nothing for like the enemy team to really react to that would make them be susceptible to your pick classes, you know what I mean? It's just like there's no real pressure to force them to make mistakes, and your pick classes are at their strongest when the enemy team is making mistakes. Sniper's bats here. It's like you kind of just have people in for no reason here, you're still losing players, and that's gonna hurt your refight a lot. Their soldier does feed in though. Combo's playing ramp point here, you're trying to fight it from ramp. Never try and take a fight from ramp, like, unless you're actively holding the point. Like, basically, unless you're the first people, like here, and you're not getting contested initially, don't fight from ramp. Like, never refight from ramp, rather, is why I'm trying to say. It's fine for holding, good for aggro holding. But then, if the enemy team is actively on the point, it is so disadvantageous for you to take a fight from this angle. You're just getting boxed into the corner, taking all the same damage, and unless you go forward, you are just in their sniper sight line the entire time. At that point, like, if they're already on the cap that much, and you're not in a position to contest them with your pyre and Uber, then
should we just be fighting from shutter then?
Either shutter or bats, yeah.
Okay.
And just trying to like take it slower, like kind of reset the board and coordinate something, because like the enemy team is kind of like splitting off there.
Yeah, I've noticed that our combo and our flank are not fighting together in one fight or pinching at any time.
It's like
playing two different games.
For product, like that's more normal for like other Koth maps really, but on actual, your combo and flank should really be taking the same fights, because it's so easy and valuable for them to be doing. So like if your combo's walking in right here, and they don't have Uber, then they just wipe there.
Yeah, like I think if Ridge, our soldier there, called that he was behind him, we could have walked forward into that.
Right. No, definitely, yeah. Like, the Uber is off, he's still behind him in post, their players are staying in and lingering to fight him, so it's like, if your team knows they're in and they keep walking, like, they kind of just wipe there, yeah. Again, it's like a refight from ramp, your spy does get their sniper though, so it's kind of decent. Still, you're taking a lot of the same damage, your demo moon's dangerously low health. It does work well though, because they drop their sniper, and that's like the one time it's kind of okay-ish, and assuming their demo isn't just rolling you around here. You need roof presence as well, by the way.
Yeah, we almost never did.
Yeah, you always want an engineer with a mini and a scout on roof, almost, like, pretty much. Just have them there, and then occasionally your scout can, like, rotate.
Yeah, a lot of times we would, like, predict when they would jump, and so our demo man would go up there, but that was basically the only time we had somebody up there.
Yeah, you really just want your scout and NG on here, like, most of the time, and then occasionally your soldier.
Every time I try to put a mini there, soldier just kills it while he's jumping, and it gets nothing.
Yeah, and that's his job. And they had minis too, but our soldier was not shooting at him.
Yeah, like, it's important to have.
Every time I've tried to put a mini there, it hasn't worked.
It's like, it's kind of just about the positioning of it, but, like, assuming you have another person playing on roof with you there, it's like, while they're trying to shoot at the mini, it's like they're basically just dying to your scout and you with your shotguns up there. It just, like, it draws his attention away. If he's shooting the mini, it's actually really good for you if he's trying to bomb there, because it means he is not shooting rockets into your medic.
It's about the kill assist.
Yeah, it's just about kind of, like, stalling him, like, even if the mini doesn't kill him, or even if the mini gets killed, it kind of stalls his momentum, which makes it a lot easier for your pyro. I will say a lot of the time on Ashville, you can kind of get down to a flowchart for when the enemy team is going to stack there. They're going to do a lot of the same patterns. Like, some teams will do it pretty much like right as you cap. If you're a bit out of position, they'll jump in. If they're trying to initiate, if their medic dies, it's like you kind of just got to learn to expect it. Here, their pyro was in.
Yeah, I was yelling for that pyro that entire fight.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really have any support. They don't really do that much because it's a lone pyro, but it's really important to just, like, capitalize off of enemies that are just out of position and can't be supported by their team. It's literally just free picks. And that would usually be like your scout and you just any backline hit scan players, or you're having a turnaround if the pyro's known to be low health. Otherwise, it's like you're having pyro collapse together, so it ends up working out now.
If we are holding on ramp, where does medic and pyro sit specifically?
Usually just around here. Like, you have players on roof, so it's like it's extra things the demo man has to go through to spam. Your pyro can play roof as well, and then it's like demo spam doesn't really get anything done. And then usually it'll just be like, if your pyro's on roof, your NG kind of backs up and watches behind for spy and supports sniper. Sniper's on ramp here. Your flank should be coming up. Bats jumping into them, having your soldier jump. It looks like you don't really get anybody contest them, though. I guess they just don't go to point. But it's very important, like, if you're actively trying to take a fight, and it's just their flank and sniper and ramp, to just have your spy and soldier drop whatever they're doing, come up here, and just bot from them, like, soldier from the front roof, spy from the back. Even if soldier, like, gets intercepted by the mini, it's like he trades for the engine in the mini, which means they're not having a regular mini shoot you up here. I guess they're kind of like spawners there, but just as a general rule of thumb, it's very important for, like, roof to be cleared off and for sniper not to hold ramp when you're trying to aggress. Your demo man's super forward here. The rest of your combo should be, like, peeking this corner with him. Your demo man's getting gigabaited here. It's like you just gotta not fear the mini, just cross it together. Your demo man honestly could be shooting the mini sentry there.
And our pyro, or maybe even our scout should be with them at that moment.
Yeah, no, basically like your entire team should just be with them here. Like, you just need to commit to it together. If they're soldier bombs, guess what? He is bombing into your pyro, your heavy, everything. He is getting reflected, he is getting shot at. You do not need to worry about anything in the backline because there's nothing for them to go into besides your entire team on the point. It's more important to just kill the enemies so they can't, like, to just commit to it together, pressure the enemies out, lock them out, so that any of the players behind are just stragglers instead of them randomly getting, like, lucky kills on you. Or there, as an example, it's just like, if the enemy team was recontesting, it's like, it's just your demo and scout there. Your demo man could honestly be shooting the mini there, so your players could cross to point and get with them. Like, they really shouldn't be fearing a singular wrangled mini as much when they have beam, though. Here, I don't know, it just seems like people aren't really forward with your demo man a lot of the time. Like, it'll just be, like, be your demo and taking a fight, kind of, and everybody else is just off in the back line, waiting. Usually it's, like, again, you just want more presence when you're taking exchange, otherwise you just get backed out to your side of the map, because there's no other pressure on the enemy team than the singular demo man walking at them So it's like, yeah, just definitely make sure your players are in a position to support you, and you can get the rest of your players to actively be doing something for that fight. Like, work with your soldier, have him bomb in the post, have your spy commit, and then just have, like, your other combo members just being around supporting, punishing any enemy players that are, like, over-aggressing or flashed. And just making sure you have positioning so that you're not just getting walked into shutter. Because then there's no point to using there. I guess that kind of works, yeah. Team walking into here, yeah. It does look like it was a little out of sync with like the rest of your combo there, though. It would probably be a bit more effective if the rest of them, like your pyro, maybe detonating around here, or just like walking, trading their life for it, your heavy walking in. You're down a lot of people, you don't really have positioning there. You either got to be like realizing that the enemy team kind of sees the same thing you do, right? That they're going to see that you're down so many people there, and that's going to be really easy to just bomb and commit for your medics since you have such low like map control and low intelligence like on like what they're going to be doing. Or you might as well be backing out at that point. Like you're just kind of overextending your medic by taking fights and like trying to get point time when you're already down so much. You just got to recognize when it's time to like back out from a fight when you're not really getting anything done anymore. And if that's not really happening when your demo is dead, then it's just like your medic or your pyro or something, or another combo class needs to be kind of calling it in that case. Your team's kind of starting to bomb a lot here. You get a lot of kills. Good job.
Yeah, we start bombing really good halfway in. I mean,
Yeah.
we get mid picks on almost all of them.
Ashville bombs are just so good, and it's like your team should be on point here. They're down so many. You're waiting for so long. You're kind of backing up to deal with one player, like as a team there. And it's like, again, it would really be better spent just killing the players on point, and then it's like the player behind just gets mulched anyways. Your team just isn't playing the objective very much. I'd say have soldier roof here when you're struggling with many that much, yeah, and then he just spams it off. Probably 2 taps ends you on the wall as well.
Good, how are you?
Bayona, there's just like large swaths of time, like it's not always the biggest deal, like it's not always the biggest span of time by itself, but then it's like every time it happens, it just adds more and more time to the clock that you lose, like when you're just not capturing when the enemy team's giving you a really good opportunity to, yeah. It just seems like a kind of recurring theme. Flanks 24. Was playing roof again. Like your team should have a lot more rooftop presence, I'd say on average. Even still, like your demo's doing work here, but like it shouldn't be your demo, or it shouldn't just be your demo. There should be other people kind of with them supporting them. Yeah,
that's what I noticed. I noticed their scout, their soldier, their demo, and their pyro being up there, and every time.
Honestly, like demo is a bit odd to have up there. Like I'd say it's a bit throw even because sniper can just snipe you. Like I'd usually say like scout, NG, and potentially pyro or soldier. But demo can be fine as well. It's just like the default should be scout NG.
And every time they initiated, they would just drop off roof and we were fucked. And
right, it's just
we didn't know how to counter that.
You just gotta have roof presence over your own basically, and then like if you're trying to push them and they have a lot of people roof, you just gotta make sure your demo man's like clearing off the mini shooting this, your soldier's jumping up here shooting it, your scout can be jumping onto the roof and just trading. It's just like your sniper can also be going ramp, and that can also help a lot with roof players. Like assuming you're having trouble with them around here. It's just like your team needs to be prioritizing clearing them off, because if you try and drop down and take a fight and they're on the roof, then you are just losing that every single time. You just need roof to be cleared off beforehand, yeah. And if you're not able to take a fight, you might as well be doing something in the downtime, right? So either clear off roof, sack, or work your sniper ramp, or some combination of those three, yeah. And that strategy kind of just like minimizes downtime. Here, okay, no comment. Probably shouldn't have worked, did though. Team initiates off that, you get forced to pioneer shutter. Using for this isn't awful though, there's a lot of things. You should have somebody else playing with your demo man during that Uber though. It's like your demo is kind of alone around here, or have your pyro play more forward with them, I'd say, because it's like if you're trying to protect, there's nothing better to protect there than like the center of mass anyways. Like if there's a bomb or if there's spam, it's gonna be coming towards around here, like where your demo medic are anyways. And it's really helpful for them to just have extra bodies there. Their Pyre's low HP, they start losing players to Sniper, so the ramp refight isn't the worst thing. It is kind of easy to just get locked down by Sniper here. Like, I think it's just you're taking ramp peaks when you're like getting pressured out, like or when you already kind of have lost like the corner slightly too often. Like pretty much like once the enemies get around to this corner, you have lost the ramp fight unless you use into them earlier. It's like something teams will do a lot of the time. It's like they'll pressure you ramp, you'll use and meet them, but then it's like their team usually takes the first peak, and the team that does that, like on the attacking side, almost always wins against the defensive team there, because it's everything has to go right there pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just important to know, like, if you're not able to control that corner earlier, like, if you're not the one taking the initiative there, then it's probably a good time to back out, unless you can get a lot of picks. And then rotate, either Shutter if their demo man's not trapping or if Sniper's not watching it, or just reorganize and stop losing players, make sure your medic lives and go for bats instead. Here, both teams are just sort of sitting ramp. A Sniper wins the SVS. You need to be backing out at this point. You are not getting anything. Okay.
Yeah, they leave.
Okay.
We just scare them with our intimidation skills.
I don't I have no comment. No comment. My brain has been broken.
Should I sit down there as spy? Because I know
where?
for a fact they're about.
Here?
Yeah, just waiting.
I would say you normally want to be more around here, so you can be calling their sniper going ramp, and your team might be losing this due to their sniper being on ramp uncalled. They do use into your team is reactively using, and it's like everybody's getting flashed. Again, you need to contest them more towards here if you see them using in. Otherwise, you're just getting boxed in, and half your Uber isn't doing anything anyways. Like, you need to swing out earlier. That's a really big thing, especially like when Pyre is a factor in the Ubers on either side. It's like you gotta be more proactive there, or else you're kind of just like getting backed out, and then you're trying to go back in. And now at this point, the enemy team is already kind of like all backed out. Like, they're playing so widely, whereas you're all coming from the same angle, basically, and that's why it's such like a deadly refight. Anyways, get back to that, sorry. Yeah, Sniper ramp here kind of breaks any like ramp, or like especially an aggro hold. You really want your spy, I'd say, playing around here, so just calling if Sniper's going ramp, bats, or if you don't see him on either of these two angles, then you can be 90% sure he's playing Shutter, and that tells your Sniper, your team, basically everything they need to know about their hold. And if they do have things that try and come ramp, you could be coordinating with your soldier. Hey, soldier, I'm going in for a stab. Help me deal with their Sniper here. Go for a bomb. And then it's like you basically just wipe ramp if it's their flank there. Compared to that to sitting around here where it's like you can get if they're lucky. Honestly, like this spot, like, I don't know, it can be good, but like I'd usually say you normally go around secret there, if anything. Because then it's like you can kind of just like be cloaked, like half cover and not immediately get hit by the pyro. A lot of the time, like better teams will just like kind of spy check as you drop down anyways. I don't know, I feel like it's just like a kind of baity play where it's like you're basically trading up, like you're basically letting your team die to sniper if the enemy team is like plays well. And what you're going for instead of that is just like a roll of the dice against the enemy combo. I will say that with the Kava, if you have a lot of roof pressure and you have people shooting him and contesting him as they're trying to drop down, it is fantastic to do. Although, again, you still have the risk of their sniper just solo going ramp, not getting called unless your soldier is playing aggro there. But it's just like, if there's no real distraction, if the enemy team is like a better team, they're going to be spy checking for you while they're dropping down AOA, so either like play further back around this area, or like just be playing more towards their ramp, I'd say. It's really just like, it's a lot more valuable unless you can get like a really good pick on their medic and demo to just be able to call where their team is, like where their sniper is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and their sniper was rotating very heavily.
Yeah, so like especially if their sniper's rotating a lot, that spot puts you in a really good position. Like, you're not really getting spy checked at all here. You can just sit with Cloak and Dagger, and then it's like you could go for picks around here, you can even try and coordinate something on Shutter, or you can rotate bats from this way. I'd just say, like, just hiding under here is, like, kind of baity, honestly. Like, yes, it can work, but you're not getting your team intel compared to even just sitting on their bats. And it's, like, a lot of Spy is about just giving intel because it allows your team to know how to play, yeah. But I don't know, if the enemy, if you do it a few times, it's like, or once in the enemy team just doesn't counter it and you're able to get a lot of value for it, then keep doing it. It's just like if you find yourself not getting value from it, like you might as well just be spending your time giving intel to the team when you're going in for a play anyways by doing a different spot like bats, shutter, ramp, lobby. Yeah. Their sniper should be dying a lot sooner here. Like your scouts should be calling their sniper toxic or just like trading their life for it. Your soldier should be bombing off that right away. Like it is just their sniper sitting alone there. In no universe should their sniper be allowed to walk out there. Their entire team is just like doing whatever on bats. Their sniper's a free pick. And sniper is the most important class in Highlander, so if you see a lone sniper, definitely just trade plays for it, sacrifice for it, kill him. Fighting from ramp here, sniper's holding you toxic. Probably rotate out at this point unless you can get miracle plays. Your sniper dies. Yeah, don't push ramp here. Have your heavy like body block for your medic, back out. Don't keep committing to this fight. You are getting nothing done here. If their team is smart, they will aggress into you because you are literally just like 3 or 4 up there. They are not that smart though, so they are not going into you. They're just letting you use into them. But as a general rule of thumb, it's just like you don't want to play ramp there. You might as well just be shutter bats at that point, yeah. Right. So questions, I think, like that?
Not really. That really explains a lot there. It wasn't a simple mistake. There was a lot of things that we weren't doing.
Right, like fundamentals of them.
Yeah, your lecture goes over most questions.
That's fair. Let me just demonstrate some things real quick. Just like show off some aggro holding real quick. Basically, with the aggro hold, your demo plays here, your heavy plays here with him, your medic pyro play against this wall. If an enemy soldier tries to bomb, guess what? Your entire team is there. He's getting instant reflected by the pyro, taking 9 million damage from the heavy, and he should also be getting called and shot from the players on the roof. You should pretty much always have like a mini on here. If the mini is dying, it can be wrangled, and if there's a wrangled mini either here or here, it just basically entirely denies the point. Especially if it's up here, it's really hard for the enemy team to actively deal with it. And then it's just like if the enemy team's trying to drop off from bats, the more roof control you have, the more you can just kill any players that are like trying to commit from under here, and the more you can kind of contest them and make sure they have to force and like drop players. Basically, it's like it gives you a lot of pressure and it makes the enemy team susceptible to making any mistakes there. And then if due to like your players around here, they linger around crates at all, you should almost always just be like flooding into them, like having your players walk from roof, having your soldier bomb, and just like punishing them for it. Otherwise, again, heavy demo here. Your sniper can be kind of just like peeking around here, like watching their ramp or like peeking a little bit wider. Usually it's just like you're watching for their shutter, especially though as sniper. Your spy should be like sitting around lobby calling. If their sniper is going ramp, so on and so forth, then coordinating with your soldier. Your soldier can either be playing here or honestly he could be playing like towards the enemy team's bats. And then this way, it baits their flank in, so instead of just getting pressured out by their flank inevitably, as long as your spy is giving information calls, your soldier can just bomb in high and wipe their flank against the wall. It's really easy to just 2-rocket people here. And then it's like all you really need to commit to the flank is soldier spy. And when the soldier isn't having to deal with the flank, your spy is giving calls, and when their flank is in or not, and your soldier is just shooting shutter from above, or just pressuring them on bats and making it much harder for them to actually get anything done. A really nice thing though is like you can have your soldier heavy get full buff, whip them through here, and then just like roll the enemy team and shutter. If you're like aggressively holding and you have a good pick or two, or they're really just like clustering around shutter, bats not doing anything. Like if they're staying around right here, yeah. Another thing you can do with a forward hold, you can pyro demo through shutter, and then your soldier can jump bats. If they don't have Uber and they're holding shutter, their med will die 9 times out of 10 there. Your soldier jumps in. Their pyro is playing forward to deny your pyro. They don't have Uber, so your demo man just like shoots against the wall. Your soldier lands on medic from above, and boom, free medic kill, and every other enemy is taking like 9 million damage. It's really good to be aggressive on Ashville, basically, yeah. Always punish. If you don't, you will be punished. That's like the basic principles of the aggro hold, yeah.
Okay.
Roof, mini sentry, occasionally pyro or soldier, maybe demo. And then rest of the combo kind of along here, occasionally aggressing like here though. Or you can be passive holding in ramp. Players around toxic, players are same thing, you get a lot less space though. You only really want to do if you have like a disad or you just don't have players to support aggression. Because it's like you can't really contest the enemy team besides through roof, if you were playing back here, you were just telling the enemy team, hey, go and use Uber on me, aggress into me in the corner, and we will all die. You're here, you're kind of like just actually being a threat to the enemy team, you're denying them point presence, you're not getting locked out of this one by this one corner. And if the enemy team is dropping down and you don't have Uber, or you just like, it's really good in general to just like have your soldier bomb and have people like collapse on them from above when they're trying to drop down, especially if you're Uber to set though and you're holding ramp, just to get them to use before you back out. It's really easy to do, so it's just like a little bit of coordination, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that's about everything I could run off of. No questions?
May not be map specific, but in terms of events on this map, and we have a pretty big Uber disadvantage. Like how should we be holding or making a plan against that?
What you do there is you can be like, okay, we're just gonna hold anyways, we're gonna hold here, but we're gonna have our pyro play forward and kind of trade their life to deny this, so that the rest of our team can get out. It's like still trying to hold it if you're not just backing out entirely. You are either just making sure they use anyways by just holding, making it so that they have to use because they're like taking a fight, or you can just be like, okay, we're committing our flankers to this, or we're committing basically like everybody on our team except for one player to back our medic out just to make sure they force. It's just like, you have to have an objective, right? And you just gotta make a call, commit to it, and just have your team follow through with it.
Yeah. So either our flank gets the trade on their medic, or we just all fall back alive and wait to build again.
Or you just like or you hold until the point where they have to use into you while you're and you gotta be like prepared to back out that entire time. You're just holding like the bare minimum to get them to use, and then it's like if they aggress into you, your pyro can like play forward to deny it or trade their life, and then you can be watching your back, so on and so forth. Pretty much one of those three things, yeah.
Okay.
So if you're gonna be losing the point anyways, like I really don't think it's the worst thing to just the worst thing in the world to just like commit most of your players anyways if you have a disad to try and equalize things or get something done, because it's like you're gonna be going for a sack anyways.
Yeah, our
It's all about
composition
just, like,
has
the
not
contact.
been strong enough to force a dry push, but we need to change that.
Yeah. That really, for Ashville, that comes down to roof. Like, it really just comes down to integrating your flank with your combo more. It's about taking the same fight from different angles, basically, instead of taking a different fight.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
Very informative.
Alright, I'll go and end the recording.
Heck yeah.